Welcome to the DL Gaming Podcast. I'm Bobby.
I'm Nick.
My name's Emilio, and this is DL Gaming.
Hey, there we go.
No Christian today. He's usually behind the scenes anyway, but in case I seem a little distracted, it's probably because I'm hastily looking things up.
Yeah, so things are going to be running way smoother and way more entertainment.
Whenever Sniper's not here, I'm just scheming in the background and running my hands together because no one can check me on my bullshit. It's the best. I'm just, yes, I can make up things. Space Marine 3 is coming soon, too.
Oh, boy.
That's funny.
All right.
Do you know that New World 2 is coming out as well?
It's newer world.
It's Newer World.
So how was your guys' week?
It's been pretty good. Did you get any gaming in?
Who are you referring to? We can't see.
Emilio, the last person who talked.
That's what I
US
thought,
Robot
too.
Unit.
Very, very little.
Very
That's
little.
usually
Are you
just-
still working nights?
Yeah, I'm going 2 more weeks. And that's
2 more
it.
weeks, and then you go back to normal people shifts.
Yeah, and then I think I'm going to try to shift the podcast to Mondays, but we'll see if you guys.
Oh,
are down.
okay.
But anyway, we'll talk about that later.
What about you, Bobby? Did you play anything?
Well, I went back to work. Back to work like I had 2 days off for 2 weeks, so it wasn't like the usual straight 2 weeks off I usually have. But I've been working a lot, so I have not been able to play that much. Although I did find time to play some games, which we'll be talking about later. Kind of surprised how much gaming I got in this week.
Yeah.
But
Nice.
before
I feel like Bobby's getting the itch again. I feel like we're trending towards you liking video games again.
maybe
It happened to me like last summer. There was a moment where I was just like, video games don't seem kind of fun. And it was like for a week.
Mhm.
And then I played like Tarkov Wiped, and I was like, nah, they're fun again.
I'll go through a whole summer, dude. Or like I've had like 6 months where I'm just like, yeah, I'm not gonna.
Well, considering all the games that we play, I think that's perfectly natural to have that kind of response once in a while.
Yeah, and I think it's very common. I've seen it come up on the Discord. I've seen it on Reddit. People just go through gaming slumps. And that's okay.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
even if you never come
burnout.
back, that's fine too. But most likely you will, because you just got to play enough games, and then something will just fucking click, and you're gonna be there sitting there having a fulfilled life.
I think with me, one thing that I really like about playing video games, especially like since I'm all the way across the country from my friends and family, is that I use them as a way of communication.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'll play a game that I don't necessarily want to play. For example, League of Legends. Like, I don't give a fuck about League. I don't care about earning champions anymore. But today I played 3 games with my friends before watching Attack on Titan because I wanted to talk to my friends. So,
And not just that, dude, but like you probably wouldn't call these guys on the phone. You
no,
would just say,
never.
how-
I would never
yeah,
I would
you'd
never
never
like,
call
hey,
them.
Brett, how's it going?
Yeah,
Like,
you would never do that. But
no.
a couple games of League, fuck yeah, right?
Yeah, like, sup, bitch? You died. Like, I'm never gonna call him and be like, how's your day going, bro?
Yeah.
But I'll ask
Well, I
him,
don't
like,
think
hey,
anybody
how's it
would do
going?
that anyway, gaming or
Yeah.
not. That'd be weird if someone just called you up. It's like, just wanted to talk.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it
No.
was like your parents or
People
something.
do that all the time, dude.
People do that all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, just not
People,
men.
I don't know. I don't want to. Yeah, like I don't want to make it a gender thing, but I don't think that's something guys usually.
Yeah, it's another thing guys do.
Yeah.
Although
I mean,
it
it's
is really-
okay if you do.
Yeah, it's really nice when a
People-
friend calls you, hey, hey, man, I was just thinking about you. You're like, oh, shit. Well, I'm way too busy to talk to you, but thanks for the call.
Put it in a text. Yeah,
Text it to me. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
and I will respond in a week and a half.
So just a reminder, our game of the weeks is Insurgency Sandstorm, but we're going to give it another week. So it is going by its name, living up to its name, Game of the Weeks. So more on that next week. So far, so good on that for me. But yeah, let's get into the radar. These are games that have come to our attention, but what do you say? Something else?
They might not be new, but they're just games that
Are
we have
on
not
our
played
radar.
and have come to our attention
Yeah.
recently. Yeah,
I've literally heard it for 7 years, and I still.
and I've never liked how I introduced this segment.
Oh, I think. Well, it's to the point. It makes all the sense.
Yeah, I guess so,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
So I just got notification that Bob Saget has passed away at 65 years old.
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
This is
Rest
what I
in
have to
peace,
deal
Bob
with.
Saget.
Bob. Hey, Bobby, how's it going? Bob Saget's dead. All right, that's how we started this podcast.
Yeah. Wow, man.
Bobby, I don't like. I'm going to put my foot down. I don't like it when you have one thing and I have three things, and we start with you, because then
Okay.
there's no
Let's start
mix
with
up.
Bobby.
You know
Let's
what I
start
mean?
with
We
you.
can start with you.
God damn it! I'm tired of this shit, Bobby.
Let's mix it up then.
All right, let's mix it up. So, Walkabout mini golf, yet another mini golf game. We have gone through two favorite mini golf games on our podcast. The first one was Golf with Friends.
Yes.
Yes,
And golf it.
and then it
And
became
Golf
Golf
It.
It.
Mhm.
And Golf It still is the premier fucking get together and play. But this is a VR version, and I was taking a look at it, and it seems fucking awesome. It's got everything, really good aesthetics, good music. Apparently, the physics are good, overwhelmingly positive. Over 1,000 reviews. How cool would it be if you and your buddy had VR and just fucking went to putt putt, dude?
Well, Golf It has VR support.
It does, but it wasn't built from the ground up for it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's got these reviews. I've never seen a review for Golf It on this, but if you watch the trailer, it just looks awesome. And if I ever get my fucking VR, another one, then I will be playing. What a fucking game night that would be. Even four people.
I still can't decide what VR I want, dude. Like, I understand the Quest is cool, and like you can use the plug-in cable to make it stronger, and actually use your computer specs to make it better, and not have to play the games through the metaverse and all that stuff. But it's just like, I don't know. Like, you have to actually maintain your Facebook account to use it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of. We have the first one, and I'm not a huge fan of it. It's a lot. I don't like having to use a third-party program to get to my Steam account.
Yeah, and they try to strong arm you into buying things out of the Oculus store as opposed to just using it with Steam games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dude, and is this? I don't think this last generation, the second generation, let's say, made enough money where they're rushing towards the third generation. It's just like they're like, oh my god, we got to fucking pump out the third gen because we made so much money. It's like they're still making money. I think we're going to be waiting here for a while before we see a third gen.
I think we are too.
Yeah,
But
it has been a while.
PlayStation just announced PlayStation VR 2.
Yeah, for the PS5, right?
Yeah, but I wonder if that's going to be PC portable as well.
I doubt it. None of the peripherals have ever been without some sort of like third-party program.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, their remote is compatible with PlayStation. I mean, with PC now, no problem. You just plug that bitch in and it works.
Plug
no
and
problem.
play. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Damn.
So
Maybe I should get one, dude, because I cannot.
Dude, they're so comfy. I have 3 remotes, and I don't even need a third one. I bought that shit. I'm like, this thing's maroon, and
I can't play
pretty
Street
awesome.
Fighter.
We play Isaac all the time, so it dies.
I can't play Street Fighter on an Xbox controller. It's impossible for me.
You're like, I was not born to play this
Yeah. Anyway,
corrupted remote.
So, anyway, looks neat.
Walkabout mini golf VR.
It is.
It's a little too many words. It's a little wordy for a title. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Do you know what a
it's too many
walkabout
words.
is, Bobby?
Something in Australia where you walk around,
Yeah.
take a hike or something, see a kangaroo.
Apparently, the indigenous people, the what are they called? Aborigines. They feel like it's hard to explain. It's like just something they do culturally. They'll just go on a walkabout and just like disappear for months. So that's why I heard it's really hard to employ them because they'll just leave. Like it's time for a walkabout.
You talking about in Australia?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, so for me, a game that's coming out is Sons of the Forest. Are you guys familiar with the Forest series?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
think
Sons
Bobby
of the
beat it
Forest.
before there was a story, right? Or you played
Didn't
it?
beat it, played it. Yeah.
So there is a story now, and they're definitely elaborating on it because this isn't a prequel, I believe. This is a sequel. But boy, oh boy, does this game really elaborate on everything.
Jeez.
So you can now partner with the cannibals on the island. Well, they're not cannibals, they're mutants. Not only that, but you can have like a wife, as weird as that sounds. There's multiple tribes on the island, and you have to learn them. Previously, in the last version of the game, you couldn't access the whole island, but I think you can now. There's different kinds of guns. There's different kinds of melee weapons. The crafting has been completely overhauled. Like the game has been really, really refined from the trailer that's being shown to what they've announced on stream and everything. It's just it seems like they've gone above and beyond. Just some of the things that you can do with like shortcuts and like the partnership mechanics just with the AI. Like you can get the AI to drag stuff for you. You can get the AI to build stuff for you. Like it looks so cool. Like you can even like capture some of the mutants and stuff. Like before, if you played the forest to get to the mutants, you would need like 11, like, oh, not 11, maybe like 5 or 6 hours of playtime. Like if you were not really trying, if you were new to the game, but it seems like you are accessing the mutants and working with them or something, because this shit is nuts.
Dude, this looks like the most realistic crafting sim I've ever seen. But just the way that he's cutting the wood and putting together the cabin and the physics, it all looks like a lot more fidelity than the first game for sure. Looks like a next generation The Forest.
I think what's really nice about it is like, some of the dev shit has been completely sped up because they're still using the same island, right? Of course, they're changing some of the terrain and they're changing some of the positions of certain things, but they get to take some of the shortcuts because it's the same island and the same
reusing a lot of the majority of the assets.
Yeah, you don't have to think of some of the certain things, but they have cleaned up a lot of stuff. They've improved some of the graphics, some of the shaders, some of the graphics, animations, dude, and things like that, and it looks great.
I'm wowed by the graphics. This looks great.
Like the lighting in the caves no longer just looks like you're in a bottomless pit of like fucking darkness.
Obviously, they took this under perfect conditions, but it looks fantastic. I'm watching the soldier's pants fucking ruffle while he's walking. I'm just like, shit, that is really good.
So yeah, that's definitely something that's on my radar. I love The Forest. It's a game that I want to play in VR so bad because they have VR support now.
What are we gonna have to do to get you a VR there? Oh, you just have to decide on one. Could you just fucking do it if you wanted to?
I think I'm gonna save my shekels for a Vive. I think I'm gonna ask for my 30th birthday.
An index, you mean?
Huh?
An index?
Yeah. Sorry, yeah, an index.
Okay.
But we'll see. I was waiting for third generation to come out, but like you said, it seems like that shit's gonna come. It's
been
forever.
like 2 years, right?
It's been 2 years since
index
HTC came out with a new headset.
Yeah. Oh, and maybe it's the chip shortage that could be affecting things too. I don't know, man. But
most of the time they don't want to. Most of the time they don't want to release that stuff unless they have a large quantity of things that are, that are available. So I'm guessing you're probably right.
And here's the other thing too. I feel like the market for people that are going to buy it already bought the second gen. Those people are most likely, not most of them, aren't going to buy the third gen because they already have one and they're selling it to the same people again.
Well, if they came out with a new version, I mean, how much better would it be? Can they make it? Can they make it any better than the second generation?
Yeah. Would it be a PlayStation 2 to a PlayStation 3 jump?
Yeah,
those things don't happen.
Because if it was that big of an improvement, then a lot of people would just buy the new one anyway, even if they bought one like 2 years ago.
Yeah, if you make a really big jump, maybe that's what they're waiting for, a really big jump.
Yeah. I think maybe everyone's trying to wait to develop the technology to go wireless for some of the more basic games and then plug in to do some of the more powerful games, kind of like not YouTube, kind of like Meta. So we'll see.
Yep, we'll see.
Oh my God, Nick, we didn't have you on stream for like ever there.
Oh my gosh.
Thanks.
He's on the podcast, right?
Yeah. The audio is showing up, but just his camera wasn't showing there because something was weird. See, this is what happens when Christian isn't around.
All right,
Things just
Bobby.
fall apart.
All right, Bobby. I think we have time for your little game now.
Little game is right, man. This game. So I saw this on a forum that I check out from time to time that they had their Game of the Year awards, and this popped up in a few categories. And I looked at it and I was like, what? Really? It's called Cruelty Squad. And if you go on Steam, it's got glowing reviews there as well. And it looks like just a really warped boomer shooter with like real memey stuff. It's called an immersive power fantasy simulator with tactical stealth elements set in a sewage-infused garbage world. So just watching the trailers and everything, it looks really bad, and it doesn't. It looks like it'd be like a meme game you'd play for your YouTube channel or something. You can maybe make some content out of it, but it doesn't really look like a fun game. But all the reviews are saying otherwise. They're saying this is actually yes, it's
awful.
Yeah, it looks terrible. I mean, graphics, and then also just like the font that they use looks like the text on screen looks terrible. And then just you read about the game, like what you do in it. It's kind of like Grand Theft Auto. You go around doing all these wild and crazy missions, and it sounds like they're just trying to be edgy and like Goat Simulator kind of thing, where it's just like, oh wow, look at this, isn't it so zany? It's so goofy, and I don't know. Like, I hate games like that, but this one, the reviews are saying, yeah, it is all that, but then it's also really good. So I don't know. I'm very intrigued by this game. I got a feeling I'm going to play it and not like it, but I might check it out. It is $20. And again, looking at these graphics, you'd be like, $20? I don't know. But I don't know.
And the name of the game is front and center the entire time that you play? Well, not right now, right when I bring it up, but it says Cruelty Squad at the top and center the whole time.
Yeah, it's got this weird border around it. I don't know if that's always there.
God, let's hope not. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks obnoxious, but like they say, like the gameplay is actually really good, and it's
Cruelty Squad the whole time.
Yeah,
maybe we come back next week. We change our minds.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. This game came out June 2021.
Bobby, you're gonna be our canary in the coal mine. You're gonna come back next week, fucking like brainwashed, believing in QAnon or something.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I usually don't have the best recommendations, man. I'm not really in touch with the gamers these days. So if I do come back singing its praises, I don't know if that's anything to go by. But like I said, like this was a lot of people really like this game. So I don't know.
I do not know is exactly my quote.
Yeah. The tags are FPS, immersive sim, surreal, retro, and capitalism. So I don't know, man. You tell me. I'm so confused by this.
Your life is represented by a piece of poop or slime that's just stuck on your screen. I guess the more
it's like a blob.
It's a blob. And then maybe
it looks like it just says life.
No, there's a number. It says 100 right there in the corner.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, very faint. Yeah, it's just like aside from this, just
take
looking.
It off, like it's offending me.
Oh, now it says 7 and it turned red, but you can't see the 7. See, they're not using contrasting colors here, so you can't even read it. Like this is just. It looks like this game was made very ineptly, but I think that's on purpose. So I don't know, man. It's a mystery, but I'm intrigued.
I feel oppressed right now. I feel oppressed. Bobby, 2 of my games are for you. They're picks for you. Did you know that Operation Black Mesa was coming out? Did you know about this?
Operation Black Mesa? No.
Yeah, so this is Blue Shift and Opposing Force by the Black Mesa people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's both of them? Are they combining them into one game?
I believe so. Experience expansion packs of Blue Shift and Opposing Force. How will you survive the Black Mesa incident?
Okay.
So is that right? Trip Mind Studios? Is that who?
No.
Oh, so this is somebody else who's doing this?
Oh, you mean the studio that did the
Black Mesa?
Black Mesa. I don't know.
Not. No.
Yeah, I mean, according to Steam, they don't have any other titles under their belt. Let me look up Black Mesa and we'll find out. Now, Blue Shift was a very short game. A short game for back in the day. It was probably 5 or 6 hours, but Opposing Force, I think that was just as long, maybe a little bit shorter than the first Half-Life.
Do we have to explain what these games are? We're talking about, like, most people don't know, right? We're talking about a long time
We're
ago.
talking to a lot of old gamers here. They must know.
So Blue Shift and Opposing Force were both DLCs for Half-Life 1.
No, they weren't DLCs. They were standalone games.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, and Opposing Force was Gearbox's first game ever.
That's right.
Yeah, that's where they started.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like...
It was a mod.
It was kind of like a mod, but not really. So the whole conceit was that in Half-Life, you're a scientist, this experiment goes wrong, and now all these aliens show up, and you've got to fight your way out. The military comes in and tries to cover it up, so you've got to fight them too. So the conceit of Opposing Force was you are now on the opposing force. You're one of the military guys that comes in and shoots the place up and tries to kill the aliens and cover everything up, but then some strange stuff happens to you. So it was really cool. You're kind of playing through the same game from a different perspective. Then of course Blue Shift was you're just the security guard caught in the middle of all of this, which I thought was, kind of funny. It's just like, let's just take who was it? Barney?
Barney. You play as Barney?
I don't think you play as Barney.
No, but you interact with him, right?
Yeah.
I remember.
Good old Barney.
Yeah.
But you're just kind of caught in the middle of it. So the same incident, and yet you have 3 games from 3 different perspectives.
Yeah, totally. And then so what they did with the original Half-Life is they called it, that's fucked up that they're calling it Operation Black Mesa. That totally seems like it's the same people, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a weird title because Black Mesa, which was made by the Crowbar Collective, was the developer on that. Black Mesa was just a reimagining or like a reboot of the first Half-Life. So to call this Operation Black Mesa
it makes it totally seem like it's the same company, but it's not.
Makes it seem like it's the same game. Like I don't know. They do have the little logo there of the military guys, so that does look like Opposing Force.
But either way, this might be good. Now I'm kind of deflated on it because it's not the same people. But hopefully they pull it off with the same excellence that the first. Bobby gave it Game of the Year. Black Mesa.
Oh, Black Mesa? Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, it was great, man. That was a fantastic game. And as much as like I will be realistic about it and say that, you know what, like the Half-Life games by today's standards, they're not really that great.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed them back in the day. When Half-Life 2 came out, I remember playing all through Half-Life 1, Opposing Force, and Blue Shift. Just played them back to back to back.
To get ready.
Yeah, to get ready for Half-Life 2. And then I never ended up beating Half-Life 2 until like 2016 or something ridiculous because I kept losing my save file.
I was going to go see Spider-Man tonight after the podcast, and then I was like, I really want to watch the first 2 first. I think Mila hasn't even seen them. I'm not going to just take Mila and then go watch. She's seen 1 or whatever. So, yeah, sometimes you have to do that. Like I wanted to watch The Matrix before watching Revelations, but I didn't.
I could have used... I went through this really weird phase in the 2000s. I was at a point, I think it was like summer of 2010, where I was like, I'm going to watch all the ends of the trilogies because I've never seen them. I've never seen the last prequel Star Wars movie. Never seen the last of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. What was that? Return of the King. Return of the King. And then I've never seen what was the third Matrix? Revelations. Okay. Yeah, and I've never seen that. So then I watched all of them and didn't like any of them. But I don't remember any. I remember kind of like a battle scene in Revelations, and that's it. I saw the second Matrix in the movie, but the reason why I'm bringing this up, I did watch Resurrections.
Okay.
And I actually kind of liked it. I mean, it didn't have as much action, but I thought the whole, like, if you're going to do a sequel, it's funny because I watched Ghostbusters Afterlife, and then I also watched The Matrix, and it's just going about the reviving a big franchise, creating a new movie that nobody asked for. It's going about that in a totally different way. One is just like all nostalgia porn, and then the other one's just like, well, let's get meta and talk about nostalgia porn and like what, And it was a lot to chew on. I really enjoyed it. But the reason I want to bring it up is, so in this world, Neo is trapped back in the Matrix, and they've got him set up as this character who is a video game developer.
Right.
And 20 years ago, he made the Matrix trilogy, the video games, and they were this huge deal, and they're all based on the events of the movie. And so in the movie, they're always talking about the video games, but then they're actually talking about the movies where the whole meta thing comes in. But there's a scene where he's at some video game awards, and he's going to like walk off the side of the building because he thinks he can fly. He keeps on having these like outbursts where he thinks he's in the Matrix or he can't tell what's real. But in that shot, they cut to it just very quickly. It's an actual award from the Game Awards. I'll bring it up here, but it looks like an angel with these big wings. And every time at the Game Awards, when someone gets it, not every time, but a lot of times people will be like, wow, this is really heavy. They comment on how heavy it is. But let's see, the Game Awards award matrix. Someone must have a shot of this. And I thought that was funny that they included that.
Yeah.
They included that in the movie. Like that's the actual award from the Game Awards.
Didn't Keanu did something?
I wonder what it took for that.
Yeah, he makes appearances at almost every Game Award. So there's the Game Award right there. You can see with the wings going back. So the one that he had in the movie, I don't see any shots of it here.
Oh, like on his desk or something?
No, like when he's at this like
he has
after
it in his
party.
hands when he walks.
Yeah. And he makes a comment about like wings, he thinks he can fly, and then it cuts in for a close up real quick of it, and you just see it like blink and you can miss it. Yeah. But like that's the actual award. I thought that was funny. They really put that in the
that's cool
in the movie. Nice little touch.
No, the whole like knowing what you are, what you're trying to do, and poking fun at it. That was all really cool.
Yeah,
and
they aren't poking fun at it. They're taking a very serious like talk at it. It's actually really cool. I like the movie a lot. I don't think it deserves some of the harsh criticism it gets.
No, well, I think if you look up like some videos explaining some stuff, it might help you a little bit because the movie's so dense. But like everything that Neil Patrick Harris was saying as the analyst in there, like that's all really like it's like who did this? It was Lana Wachowski, not the sister. It was just one of them.
Oh.
But it's totally her like working through. And like us collectively working through like what all we expect from a Matrix sequel or a sequel in general, and what did the first Matrix mean, and why was it, such a big movie? And
like why did it even exist at all?
I think if you want to get deep and you want to tell a love story and do both in one movie, I think it's great. Why put in lackluster action at all then, though? You know what I mean? It just seemed like. Did they just
but they kind of comment on that too, when they're having the whole like brainstorming sesh about making the new video game, and they're like, it's it's about big guns and dumb action, and then the other guy jumps in, no, it's just about that one scene, whoosh, and he does the Neo snapping back. And there were a few things where there was some questionable acting by Keanu, especially in that bathroom scene, but also, there were a few scenes where they're running away and people are shooting at them, and I'm just like, nobody misses that shot. Like, come on. But you got to understand,
almost
like,
seems intentional.
They're pushing 60. So I imagine, like, they couldn't really do, or maybe they just weren't interested in making an action movie. It's just really weird because it's a Matrix movie, but it's almost like not a Matrix movie.
It's like a comment on a Matrix movie.
Yeah.
A commentary.
Yeah. So.
Anyway, Bobby, Nick, grab the next one. Or do you have another one? Yes.
Yes, he does. Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. Nick, you still there?
Yeah, sorry. I accidentally muted myself with my thumb. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach is the new Five Nights at Freddy's game. I thought they were completely done with this series, but I guess someone got a hold of the IP and decided to cash in it again. The game, I believe, is the start of a new series. It's pretty short. A lot of YouTubers got a hold of it, and it seems like the most dynamic and the most like fluid. It's not just like a sit at a desk kind of game like the other Five Nights at Freddy's, but it seems pretty fun. I like scary games. I played a lot of Phasmophobia not a lot, but I played some Phasmophobia this week and some In Silence. So it's kind of weird seeing Five Nights at Freddy's back in the headlines because it used to be such a popular game series.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw this and I was like, oh God, I really did not like the Five Nights at Freddy's games. I kind of enjoyed the first one, but then we had like 8 sequels and I just got really sick of it pretty quick. But this one looked a little bit different because you're actually moving around the area. You've got like a flashlight, so it's not as basic, but I still don't think it'd be one that I'd personally check out, especially not at $40. Damn.
Yeah. I think what it was is that someone came out with that Happy Hands game or whatever it was, where it was like a Five Nights at Freddy's ripoff where you go into a toy factory, and it did really, really, really well. And I think someone was just like, "Fuck it, let's put out Five Nights at Freddy's," the next iteration, and it did. They put it out and it turned out really well.
Yeah. I figured it was only a matter of time before we saw another Five Nights at Freddy's game. I mean, that guy was just pumping those out for a while. It was just like not even a year would go by and we'd get another one.
Yeah.
The other one, Bobby, for you was Perfect Heist 2. Have you heard of Perfect Heist 1?
No.
Nor I. But this thing popped up for me. The reviews are very positive. It's like a heist game, right? But it seemed to have, even though the graphics aren't like Payday or anything like that, it seemed like very. It's got a lot going on because it's two opposing online. It's versus. Damn it. Can't talk. I just came in from the outside. I lost all. I had to go outside and talk to Sam in regular speech, and then I come back in here and talk video game speech now. So I had to make the transition. This time my brain didn't do it. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, it's a versus game. So some people are security, some people are bank robbers, and you have to basically rob them in plain sight. You have to get past it. You have to stealth past them, basically, even though they're at work fucking trying to stop you. I guess they give you the tools to try to do that. And then, of course, things can go loud, and then you have to fight your way out. But I guess it is possible to sneak past real people and steal the stuff, which sounds crazy to me. But this got good reviews. And then the first one has a lot more reviews, and that was pretty good, too, I think. Let's see. Perfect Heist. Mostly positive.
Yeah, still not a whole lot though. I mean, 260 reviews, not a ton of people playing this game. Yeah, it looks cool and it's a cool idea and it's pretty cheap. I mean, it's on sale for $7.99. But what concerns me is if you have a team versus team game mode, so you need to populate 2 teams for every round. That seems like it'd be kind of difficult.
Yeah, I don't know how many players either. Maybe it's just 2, maybe it's 4 on each team. But yeah, you need a decent player base to get some decent games going.
Online PvP, online co-op.
It has a single player as well. Oh, and then there's classes too, Bobby, of thieves. The distractor, the tech, the muscle. Yeah, this would be a great game night game, especially for $7. I mean, that's how many copies of fucking Golf It did we sell?
Yeah, we pushed a lot of those. Oh man,
I can't even imagine how many copies you sold of that game because like at one point it was literally $1.49.
Yeah, I remember when we just started golf with your friends was like $14.99, and we bought a lot of those too. It's just good game night games. But, it's
those
fun.
are games that you can play while drunk too. So like,
yeah, you could be fucking wasted and still play. Air quotes.
Yeah.
Anyway, last one is a meme game, Clownfield 2042, making fun of Battlefield 2042's terrible launch. It's got, I think it's overwhelmingly positive last time I checked it, or very positive. Yeah, it just looks like one of those like totally accurate games, that just like not serious at all. I doubt it's a good game. But yeah, I think they try to implement everything that they were trying to show in the new Battlefield games, and yeah, just kind of making fun of it. Like, this is how easy it is to do this, or I don't know what they're trying to say. But I thought it was funny that they sold 2,000 copies of a meme game, and maybe it's not that bad.
Bobby, can you tell me the 2 most pivotal game types of Battlefield?
Pivotal game types?
Yes.
What do you mean by
mode,
pivotal?
sorry.
Game modes.
Like the 2 game modes that you most associate with Battlefield.
Conquest, right?
Is that what they call it? Conquest?
Conquest and
I don't know. That's pretty much all I played.
there's the other one where there's Conquest, and then there's the one where like all the spots are open at once and you capture them all at the same time.
What's it called?
So it's called Rush,
Okay.
and they just removed it, and they're
Oh.
like, "Oh, it's a temporary game mode." Their second most popular game mode, they just got rid of for
It's an
no
odd
fucking
choice.
reason.
Who knows what's going on over there, dude? I thought it was crazy that Evan Lottie gave it Game of the Year. I read the article, I read his write up on it, and he was just saying like it wasn't that bad, and he actually enjoyed it. And I don't know, dude.
It is bad.
It almost seems like he was like just being an apologist for it because it was like a first person shooter, or just like picking it because nobody else picked it or something. Because he was like every sixth time that I play it, I would hard crash the desktop. Like, how are you going to give that Game of the Year? I don't know.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, if it has technical issues of that magnitude, but I don't know. I think a lot of stuff with games like this get blown out of proportion pretty quickly too. Like if
It snowballs for sure.
yeah, I mean, if you were to go into the game and not really read any articles or anything like that, you wouldn't even notice it. But I don't know.
So
I don't play
that-
Battlefield games anymore, which is crazy because I used to love this series. But I don't know.
I like one.
So one thing that I noticed about it when I played it, and I heard someone say it, and I was like, dude, that is the most accurate description of this game. It feels like a game that was made to be a battle royale, and someone just decided to fucking switch it and just make it a normal ass game
At like last minute before
at
launch.
last minute.
Yeah.
As weird as that sounds, I'm like, dude, what? I'm like, that is the perfect idea because like the speed of the game, the time to kill, it's not Battlefield at all. Like it's way faster. And I have no problem with games being faster. I play Call of Duty, I play Titanfall, I play a
Sandstorm.
bunch of other fast ass games, and I also play slower games in Battlefield like fucking Tarkov. But it's not even close to Battlefield. And like with all the classes and everything, like, oh, every class can have every gun, every class can have everything. Like that's not why people play Battlefield for the classes, for the vehicles, and they just changed all that shit up.
Hmm.
And obviously no one likes it.
Did you pay $60 for it, Nick?
No. I played the free 10 hours that they gave you if you played the beta.
Gotcha. All right.
See what it's got on the old Steam reviews. Mostly negative.
Jeez,
It's rough.
that is rough.
I mean,
And $60 still, Bobby? Or I heard it went on sale.
might have been for the summer sale.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. People are not happy.
Yep.
Not happy about the class system. I don't know. I feel like I think that's why I kind of stopped playing Battlefield games because I feel like they nailed it like 5 games ago. I think it peaked at like Battlefield 3. Like we never needed another Battlefield after that. Personally, it's my hot take. Although Battlefield 4 is the one I think I played the most. Battlefield 4 was the one where they introduced the destructible environments.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean that was
it-
kind of cool. Okay.
I thought Battlefield 1 was great.
That's when I stopped playing. So that's when it really changed. They reduced like they really started to simplify things. I think that's the word I'm looking for. Things really started to get a little more simplified. And I mean that
So,
probably was a little more inclusive for more players, but it stopped feeling like Battlefield to me. So I don't know. I mean my favorite will always be
4.
God. Nah,
Bad Company?
I don't know. You're probably right. Probably Battlefield 4. But I put an unbelievable amount of hours in Battlefield 2 and also Vietnam.
Oh, yeah, Vietnam. Dude, the soundtrack.
Vietnam was great.
Yeah.
I just realized today when I went out to get some pho that both my favorite sandwich and soup are both from the same country.
Vietnam.
Those people knock it out of the park over there, man. God damn.
A Vietnamese adaptation of a French sandwich. Damn, that's
Yeah.
perfect.
It's so good.
I love
Any,
banh mi and pho, dude.
You can probably talk on this more than any of us, Nick. You've probably played them all, right? Extensively? Except for
All
this
of them.
one?
At least, I mean, besides Battlefield 2042, I've put at least 300 hours in each of those games.
So what would you say? Where did they peak?
I think they peaked at 4. The way they did DLC, the way the gunplay was, there was a solid 3 or 4 months of bad net coding and stuff.
Yeah, I remember a lot of complaints about that.
But then again, I was also playing on console, so I wasn't suffering through that on PC. But then again, that was like the great Comcast wars of like 20, like, I mean, like 2008, you know?
Yeah.
So like everyone was struggling then.
And then what about there is a Battlefield 5, right? Yes, there is.
Battlefield there's Battlefield Hardline, which no one fucking remembers.
Yeah, but I thought they went from 4 to Battlefield 1. I don't know if there
Yeah, I
was
think
a
so.
was
But
there
I
a
thought there was
Battlefield
a 5.
There's no Battlefield 5. There's Battlefield Hardline,
Oh, I guess.
which came out before Battlefield 1.
There's a Battlefield 5, guys.
That's Battlefield 1 though, isn't it?
Battlefield 1 is Battlefield 5.
Oh,
Yeah, it's 1.
okay.
Which a lot of people say that Battlefield 1 is arguably the best historical Battlefield.
I think it's great. But, I like everything.
There's no better World War I game than that game. It's so good.
Yeah, they did a good job with the weapons and stuff. And I remember that was a big win for them because Call of Duty they went futuristic that year, and then Battlefield went old school, but not World War II, because I think we were all still there was a period in time like where just all shooters were World War II shooters, and everyone just got so burnt out on World War II.
You got to take 10 years off from World War II.
Yeah, we needed a long break from that. But then they went World War One, and then Call of Duty went futuristic, and like it was just the wrong call. Like they just, I don't know. It really was like a flip the coin. Just for some reason that year, nobody wanted another futuristic shooter.
I don't think futuristic ever works. Obviously, here's another example right here. And then we had the that was the Call of Duty
Battlefield 2142. Anyone remember that one?
They never.
No. They had a futuristic Call of Duty that was pretty popular, wasn't it? Advanced Warfare.
Yeah, but that was like slightly. That was like
slightly futuristic.
5 years, 10 years. Yeah, or what they thought.
Yeah, I guess Halo is the only real
like
futuristic
11
one.
years. Yeah. You were like Kevin Spacey was the bad guy.
Oh boy, was that the pay F to pay respects or press F to pay respects?
That was the
one. Yeah. that was the first Advanced Warfare, right?
Yes.
God, I might have played that game. I don't even know.
So I feel dumb now. It's called Battlefield 5, but it was just World War One.
Yes.
It was never called Battlefield 1.
I thought they marketed it as Battlefield 1.
I always thought they called it Battlefield 1.
Yeah, I remember hearing that name like constantly. I don't know, man, but now I want to go play Battlefield 4.
No, you should want to play 1, dude.
I played 1. I couldn't click with it, man. Like I didn't like it. I didn't like how they started doing the inventory and just everything started getting all simplified and everything. It's just, I don't know.
How dare you make my life easier, you fuckers.
No, I mean, there were less options, and I usually appreciate that in games, but like, I grew up with Battlefield, so I'm like used to like all the complicated, like unlocking all these scopes, and it doesn't even matter because like when it comes down to it, like it's a millisecond of shooting at some guy. Like none of the gear really matters all that much, or maybe it does. Who knows?
I hope you're gonna like Sandstorm, man. There's a lot of that in there, and it's complicated too.
Well, I played Insurgency, but I'm wondering how much is really similar to Sandstorm.
I don't know what the difference is.
I remember the big thing with Insurgency, the first game, was that you can't tell if you killed someone or if you shot your teammate. There's no like UI basically. It doesn't tell you like who your teammates are and like hit markers and things like that. So I don't know. It'll be interesting, but it does look like a Counter-Strike game, which I'm not the biggest fan of Counter-Strike. So
there's a lot of mods. Anyway, we'll get into it next week.
All
right. Let's get into the highlights, games we have played and have something to say about.
All right.
I don't know, just making shit up.
All right. Before we do, thank you to Cricket Soldier subscribing for 27 months.
Thanks.
It's up there, but not as high as Recycled 41 months.
Yeah. Cricket, step your game up, dude. Go back in time and somehow, I don't know how you're going to do it.
Subscribe 2 times in a month, which I don't even think you can do. Or you get the
Create
tier 2
another
sub.
account.
There you go.
And then combine the accounts.
But we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Cricket, thank you so much. I didn't realize how much you had given me that day.
My friends still talk about Cricket and Ark, dude. They're like, remember that crazy guy? They like had like 30 dragons by day 2. We're like, yeah, man, that guy's nuts. That's Cricket.
So it just seems to me, I try to do this every year. It never works out. I want us to play 8 players on a PC at DLG Con. So I'm like upset every time I try to do it, and it never works. And Cricket went out and bought these like USB hubs that where you can charge your controller. Anyway, I was like, oh, he probably paid a few. They were like $40 each, and you bought like 5 of them.
Wow.
He's like, just keep them. I was like, damn, baller.
Damn.
Someone's got real money.
He's bleeding for the DLG, man. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
And I'm using them, so don't think that they're just in a box somewhere.
Next DLG con, I really want to just set up like maybe a small LAN, or at least get a camera set up on one computer so we could have someone just streaming constantly. But next year, folks, next year.
It is this year.
Oh yeah, I guess it technically is.
This year, folks.
It's coming
this
up.
Year.
Sign up, folks.
Yeah, sign up, folks.
Where are we going this year,
No,
guys?
I only have one, Bobby. We start with the most.
Yeah, no, I accidentally clicked on that. All right. I'm going to talk about a documentary that I watched that wasn't very good. It's called Video Game Box Art: The Stories Behind the Covers.
Cool concept.
Is it though? Because I thought it was. I was like, oh, that's cool. I love video game box art. Then I watched it and I was just like, this really doesn't warrant an entire docu-series.
Yeah, it's a series.
Yeah, it's 8 episodes. It's on Apple TV, and it's not very good. They start out with the obvious story, the whole Mega Man 2 box art that was so controversial, and I was like, okay, of course you got to do that.
Why was it controversial?
Because it's got Mega Man holding a gun and shooting, and Mega Man
he has a gun for an arm.
Yeah, his arm he's got like a cannon on his arm, but this actually has him holding a gun. And the guy who made
like a straight up like Glock.
Yeah. Well, no, it's like a little space pistol or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've all seen that. So they interviewed the guy about it, and he told the usual story. Yeah, it was I couldn't tell from the video game, and I don't play video games, so I just thought he was carrying a gun. It was like Nintendo graphics, so he didn't know. But the box art is really cool. But when you watch it in the documentary form, first of all, the documentary, I didn't think it was really edited very well, and the interviews they got just weren't that great. Of course, that could have been a part of the editing. You could have just cut some of that stuff out and probably made it a little bit better. But it was just a lot of people just saying like, yep, and then I drew this, and then I drew that, and this is how I drew it. Like, okay, cool, man. I mean, there's some interesting things in the box art history.
Could you have made a solid one documentary?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you could have made like a 1 hour, 1.5 hour documentary out of this, not 8 half-hour episodes. Definitely didn't need that.
You miss your calling, Bobby. You should be a fucking editor. You're like, nope, nope.
I do have some notes on this. Yeah, they should have called me in on this.
Just like super critical. Like that's what you need to be as an editor, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know, man.
This? Why would you do this?
You do. I mean, they do say like you shouldn't edit your own work, which I don't think a lot of people do anyway. But the problem is if you directed something and then you have to edit it, like you see a scene and you're just like, oh, I remember that day, and you remember everything outside of the frame, basically, or how hard it was to get that shot, or like something good that happened. And you're like, oh yeah, that's got to stay in. But then an editor, an editor that wasn't there, like he comes in, he's just like, doesn't work, take it out, But the other game that was kind of, there's a bit of a story about it that it's not really all that interesting. It was one of the NHL games on Sega. It was the big one. It wasn't 93, maybe it was 94, but the guy had taken a picture from I think Getty Images, and he'd modified it. He modified it a lot. It was a picture of Wayne Gretzky, and he modified it a lot. And he thought, there'll be no way that this gets traced back to me. And then, like, boom, he gets a call. He had to pay $10,000. He was put in a weird spot. He had to pay $10,000 to this guy who took the picture, and the company Konami that he was working for, I think it was Konami, they said, you've got to pay it or we won't hire you for any more work ever. So it was basically pay $10,000 to keep your job.
Yeah.
And he ended up having to do it. That's crazy. Let me see if I can find it. Wayne
It's weird.
Gretzky.
It's a little weird to me that fell on the artist, but I guess so. Because he was faking that it was his.
Well, what he did, but he changed the faces, he changed like the position, the jerseys, like he changed a lot of it, and he thought, this will be okay. And this is like way back in the day before we have a lot of like fair use copyright clearly defined, or as clear as it's going to get, like it is these days because of YouTube. But but yeah, he really just didn't expect it to come back to him. Okay, that kind of looks like it. No, oh, it's just showing me like all the Gretzky games here. It's all right. It's not like that exciting of an image anyway. It's like it's a pretty good shot. Like it's a pretty good picture.
Huh.
But yeah, other than that, there really wasn't a whole lot of interesting stuff in this documentary. It was kind of cool to watch it and then see the stuff that you remember and go, "Hey, I remember that. Oh, I remember that."
Is there a documentary on movie art, box art?
Like posters?
Yeah.
Oh, there must be. I haven't seen one.
Too. By the way, just by the by, for people that don't know, a lot of like older movies. I don't know about or new movies. I talked about this on the podcast. It blew my mind when I found out. So all the like sci-fi movies, just movies in general, in other countries, have different posters, and a lot of times, those artists hadn't even seen the movie. They just got like a small description. So there's like crazy posters of like Terminator from different countries, Alien, Star Wars, all crazy, almost psychedelic shit out there. It's awesome, and it's a completely different take on what you're used to. And you can buy reprints of this on Amazon for like $10, and they're fucking sick. One of my favorite one is the Polish version of the Terminator. It's called Electronica, some fucking murderer or something like that. I don't know. It's that one.
Yeah. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, I think.
I think this one's amazing. I just fucking love it. I mean, obviously they knew it was Arnold Schwarzenegger, but yeah, I just think it's fucking sick. The Aliens one,
dope as fuck,
dude. It's dope as fuck, dude. The Star Wars ones are crazy because they didn't watch the movies.
Yeah,
and so like it's just like an artist's interpretation, visual representation of his imagination of what was described to him. So you can like look up the Japanese fucking Star Wars or whatever. Anyway,
yeah,
awesome stuff out there.
Yeah, that's what was happening with a lot of these video game box art covers. Like they'd send them a beta copy of the video game, but these people weren't gamers. In some cases, they didn't even know how to play video games, so they would have to send them a VHS tape recording of somebody playing the game, and then they'd come up with the box art from there.
Bonkers.
It's bonkers. This is why it's bonkers, Nick. On top of everything else, every video game has an artist now. You would just get your artist to do it. But the graphics were so bad there back then, you didn't need an artist. You just had to make some sort of representation. Like this square right here, he's the action hero. And he shoots.
This square right here, that's a boob.
Yeah, that's a boob.
Yeah. Okay, so here it is. The game was called Blades of Steel, and there's the original photo there. Is that Gretzky? I don't know if that... Yeah, it is Wayne Gretzky. Okay, and then there is the box art there.
It's pretty close. Man.
Yeah, it's pretty... I mean, it's the same position. They had a case. But yeah, $10,000. Too bad for that guy. Yeah. That's crazy.
Back then.
Yeah.
It's like $100,000 now or something.
Yeah, that's like, what, 80s, early 90s? It's a lot of money back then.
Yeah, it's like $50,000.
So yeah, I mean, you can check out this documentary if you really want to, but I honestly wouldn't recommend it.
This is a cautionary tale.
Yeah. I was a little disappointed with it.
All right. Nick, go ahead.
So I got to play some League of Legends, and me and my friends had a really interesting conversation. So we haven't played in a while, and the only reason we played is because there was 5 of us, and there's not that many 5-player games, right?
Yeah, it's a weird number.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird number in playing video games. League of Legends is one of those games where there's so many characters, right? I think there's over 110 of them, and we know all the characters that when we played, we know a lot of even the new ones. But goddamn, we don't know all the fucking skins, man.
Oh yeah.
And some of these skins are so ornate or so over the top. They really disguise who the characters are. Or they make them really look like other characters, man. And we were just like, imagine if there was like a switch, like in the Halo Remastered, where you can just literally flip a switch and all of the all of the skins are just turned off just for you.
You know, that sounds great from a gameplay perspective, but that's what people are paying money for when they buy the skins, is so everyone else can look at them and say, "Oh wow, look at that skin."
But also, like TF2 specifically never did skins; they only did hats because they didn't want to lose the silhouette.
Well, they have other articles of clothing that you can dress your character in.
Yeah,
and
but the silhouette never changes much. You can tell any character from just
they're pretty definitive. It does change a little bit depending. Like the doctor has like a bigger coat or something like that, or like a bird on his shoulder. But yeah, they were very specific because they wanted like you to be able to recognize who what type of character it was or what class it was in a split second.
It's funny. TF2 might be the greatest game of all time. Like they they were so ahead of the game. They were thinking about problems we're having now, and they solved them back then. You know what I mean? It's fucking nuts. It's nuts.
All right. It was just bonkers for us. Like literally every single round we played, we're like, all right, what's that character? And like, I mean, we're all stupid. We could just press the tab button and be like, oh, that's this character because it tells you.
Yeah, but we're like, League of Legends is such a fast-paced game that you really need to, like I said, you need to recognize a character in an instant. So if you can't do that, you're not going to hit tab in the middle of a team fight and be like, "Who's this?"
And it's a game that you need to know what every character's abilities are. Like, and if you don't, you're fucked.
Now, Bobby, on Smite, we never had. I feel like I never had that issue, but we never got up to even 50 characters, I think.
Yeah. I mean, now they have like 150. It might be a little.
I think League has 150.
Smite has quite a bit too. We just talked about this. I saw like the 100-something character added, and they're up there too. But yeah, I mean, these games they demand a lot of your time, and they not even just time, but they demand constant attention. Like the skins, you just need to be aware of all that. It's really tough to jump back into a game like this.
They're fucking MOBAs are high maintenance bitches.
Pretty much, actually.
Pretty much, man.
So, thanks, John. He bought me Deathloop for Christmas. I played the first level twice. Sounds like not a lot, but it's kind of like an open world situation. Once you go into an area, you can tell that there's going to be a lot of missions in that area. It's just like a city, a block of a city, and you can go into a bunch of apartments. There's just tons of ways to do whatever you need to do. I can see why this got like best gameplay. It is an amalgamation of a lot of different genres. So you have a first-person shooter primarily. You have roguelike, right? So every time you go on a mission, randomly generated loot, which you can save and go on to your next level. There's a little Tarkov in there where like you can continue to explore and get more stuff at the risk of losing it all. But you could just do the mission and get out. So there's that. Then there's a little bit of Souls-like in it because you can play as the oppressors or the woman, whatever her name is. She goes to other people's games. You can go into other people's games like a Souls-like game and try to kill
the main character. No, not the main character, but the attacker.
Yeah,
right.
I guess the protagonist. I guess I don't know. I don't know because the story is pretty complex. I don't know who's the protagonist or the antagonist. It seems like the main guy. There is a lot going on, but all of this is wrapped up in this very stylized, very stylish 70s retro futuristic environment with a great soundtrack, great voice acting. It's a very enjoyable game. I had to play it twice because I had a hard crash at the very end when I was getting to the exit. Hard crash right before the save. It sucked. You get 3. It's interesting because it's almost like Super Mario in a bit. You get 2 extra lives, so you can die twice and still make it to the exit and keep all the shit that you had. But that thing that lets you do that is like a slot. like a gem slot. Let's call it. Not really, but whatever they call it. But you can take that slot out and put it in with something else, and have another perk. And so you have all these different things going on. So you could lose your extra lives, but you do more damage or whatever it is. They're called. I forget what they're called. Anyway, yeah, it's presented almost like those grindhouse movies that Tarantino did, and like Planet Terror and stuff. I like it. I like the style. I like everything about it. Oh well, if I had a complaint, it would be that it's console-y. It's definitely like suffering from consolitis. It just doesn't feel smooth when you're playing it the way that you would want it to, like especially like playing Sandstorm, and Sandstorm is fucking goddamn, is it fucking right on. There's like nothing wrong with the shooting in Sandstorm, and this is just very arcadey and cartoony. Not that it can't get hard, like waves and waves of bad guys, especially if you sound an alarm or one of the alarm. There's people that are there's a class of bad guys that is especially set to go and set alarms and call everybody to attention, and so you got to kill those people first. You can play it loud, you can play it soft, but just like I always complain about this, you always get rewarded in games for going quiet. I don't know why. You get more perks, you get more loot all the time for not alerting. And so, can you really play it both ways? I don't know. It's always like play stealthy
There's a difference between can you and should you, right?
Well,
like
I
if
guess
you
you
should you if
should.
you want more money, or can you because it's like easier. Like I don't like when games reward you more or less for playing a certain way, like you're saying.
Yeah.
Because me dumb and I like going loud.
Yeah. The same thing, dude. I'm exactly in the same camp. Like I
But
like going
I
loud.
get when like Metal Gear Solid's like you have to go quiet for this mission because there's literally like a 3,000 man army.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, I
Well,
get
if
it.
it makes sense, it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you should mix it up. You shouldn't be like, oh, you can play it any way you want, and then if you stealth through it, you get all the accolades, you get all the loot. And anyway, this suffers from that as well. But overall, I'm way into the story. I don't know what the fuck's going on. There's definitely a like Edge of Tomorrow type thing going on. Like you die, you fucking start over again. You barely remember what happened the loop before. They're overtly talking about the loop. The woman, your ex girlfriend, I forget her name. She's like antagonized you on the radio the whole time. Like, oh, you're back again. Please don't be predictable this time. Like, oh, I told you not to be predictable, and you did exactly what you did last time. And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, they're going back and forth, and it's pretty entertaining. And yeah, I'm looking forward to playing more of it. Unfortunately, every time I sit down on my computer, I say one game of Magic, and then 2 hours later, it's bedtime, and it's a problem, guys. It's a problem. Anyway, yeah, digging it.
Interesting. Yeah, it's a pretty popular game, and I do like the 70s art style, and yeah, they've got the grindhouse look with all the film grain and the sprocket slips. It's a cool look.
Oh, play it off my account, dude.
It's on your Steam account? Yeah, I'll check it out on there. Because I don't like stealth games like at all, but I really like Dishonored. Apparently not enough to play the second one. I don't think I played the second one.
This feels a lot like Dishonored in a way, too.
Yeah, I really like Dishonored. But it is weird how by default, it seems like games always assume like stealth should be rewarded more over going loud and just shooting everything up.
I guess it kind of makes sense, right? But like if you go loud, you're going to have all these waves of guys, and you're going to kill them all, and then you lose all your ammo unless you can pick up their weapons. I don't know.
Well, I'm thinking about the reward system. Like I'm thinking about what the game is actually saying. Like it's punishing you for playing a different way. Yeah. Like it's saying you should be playing stealth, but if you want to have fun, then sure, you can have fun, but you're going to get less rewards. Like that seems like a weird message to me, and maybe I'm just
no. You fucking nailed it right now, dude. Very succinctly put.
You're right.
Yeah,
you're definitely right.
Yeah. So Take that, stealth games.
Take that. Take that. All fucking goddamn game.
Uh,
Yeah, play this off my account, dude. I'm curious what you're gonna think
all
about.
right. I played Aliens Fireteam Elite this week.
Looking forward to this.
Yeah. This game came out a little while ago and on Xbox Game Pass. So I was like, hey, why not check it out? So it's a co-op game, which I always love. And I got into it. I was having a decent time. Like, here's the problem with this game. Like, it's a pretty good game. They've done everything right outside of the core gameplay loop. You level up your character, you get credits, you spend that on new guns, you can modify your guns and your talents in certain ways. And yeah, that's really cool. The problem is the actual gameplay of this game is very repetitive. All you're doing is shooting. So you take a game like Deep Rock Galactic, you're shooting, you're exploring, you're mining, you're terraforming. And not only that, but when you're fighting, it's all sorts of different enemies, and they could be very random. You could run into a Corlock Tyrant Weed, or you could run into a bulk detonator, and all of a sudden it's just like, oh, we've got we got a problem on our hands, and we got to completely change our play style. Or they have these, the machine events you run into, and it's like this weird boss fight, like all these different things. This is just like aliens just keep coming at you, and you just keep shooting them, just blap, 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 blap the whole time.
Isn't that what Left 4 Dead is, though?
Yeah, I guess it is, but for some reason, Left 4 Dead is a lot more satisfying when it comes to the gameplay. This game feels a little janky, like it's right there on the like. It feels a little like not that great. It's a third-person perspective, and that causes problems when you get backed into a corner and stuff like that. And it's got classes, like they've got a medic class, and they've got like a flamethrower. Yeah, they've got like a whole bunch of different classes.
Are there special aliens?
There's a few of them, but they don't really, like, there's one that charges at you and it's got a bunch of health, and there's a big tough one that's got a bunch of health, and then there's a spitter one. But it's like everything that I'm saying sounds like it could be good, but when you actually play this game, I played through the entire campaign, and then it opens you up to the ability of playing like the horde mode, where it's just wave after wave, or just basically queuing up into a random queue where you just get the first game available. And again, they've got great things outside of the game. Like you can equip these cards that give you more XP or credits, but they give you some sort of negative side effect during the playthrough, and it applies to everyone. Or it gives you like a mission you have to do, like 50 headshots on this type of alien. Like it's got everything in place that seems like it'd be good, but when it comes down to it, the game just isn't that much fun to play. And I felt like it got real grindy really quick. And I played the medic, and what I really liked about this game, I've seen this in other games before and I can't remember the names of them, but the way that they do their talent perks in this is really interesting. Let me see if I can look up a picture, because that'll help me explain this.
So if I were to summarize a little bit, it sounds like you like the bells and whistles, but you don't like the car that it's on, basically. I don't know what bells and whistles really.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah. I don't know. We don't need to complicate it with an analogy. I'm telling you right here. It's just the core gameplay loop, like the actual like gameplay loop that you keep having to go back and doing. It's just, it really isn't that fun. I mean, there are 6 missions or 6 levels, each with 3 levels in between them. Yeah. So, I mean, you got like 18 total levels, and they're all pretty much the same. And you're doing the same thing. Like you just run through, you shoot aliens, then you get to a spot where you have to hold that, and a bunch of aliens come at you, and you keep shooting them over and over again. But the talent system that I really enjoyed here, let me see.
Here we are back.
Oh, whoops. Here. Okay. So they've got this like grid up, and you pick your talents and you put them into the grid. And some of these grids are blocked, and you unlock them as you level up. But you're playing this weird Tetris game when
like
you're
Diablo,
trying to
original Diablo inventory, right?
Is that how? Yeah, like the Diablo inventory. You'd have items of different sizes, but that was just your inventory.
Yeah.
This, you have to get core units, and then you can attach certain modifiers to that. So it even increases the way that the complexity of this. But you're playing like I honestly at one point I think I spent like 15 minutes just trying to figure out a really good layout for my perks, and it didn't have
I
it.
love this, dude.
Yeah, it didn't have much to do with like what perks I wanted. Obviously, that was the case, but the tricky part was figuring out how am I going to imagine packing a suitcase with all your items, and you have to like arrange everything Tetris like to fit perfectly in there. It's a really interesting way of doing a perk system, and I know I've seen this in other games, but I did really enjoy that. That was a nice touch.
So the game design is good, but it's just not fun.
Yeah, it's not fun. Like I don't think if you were to play this, I don't think you'd make it through the campaign.
What about if we played like 4 players, all of us, or whatever?
Well, it's only 3 players co-op.
Okay, 3
That's
players.
such a weird number.
Yeah.
Yeah, just get rid of 2 of your friends, Nick, and you can play this all the time.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, if people on Discord were playing, I'd be like, yeah, okay, I'll hop in with you. But I hit a point with the game where I'm like, it's not going to change. I could unlock more stuff, and it's going to make me do like 7% more damage, or like my healing radius is 18% bigger. It's going to change things in little measurements, but it's not going to change like my experience of the game.
Yeah, I got you.
It's so.
Damn,
I don't know.
Interesting.
I got really into it for a little while. I'd say like 2 days I got like hard into this, and then I had to stop myself. I'm like, dude, I'm just grinding. I'm like half paying attention to the game. I got like, Hulu up in the other screen, and I'm just like grinding the horde mode just to get XP. So what? So I can then take a higher powered character and do what? The exact same thing that I'm doing now.
The numbers at the bottom are the same as the numbers at the top.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. You do get into, and kudos to you for pulling yourself away from that.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't too hard, but, and then I played a round of Deep Rock Galactic, and I was just like, you know what? They did it right, man. Like I actually, it's great that I'm getting like, unlocks and skins and, overclocks and stuff. But like really what I keep coming back for is, maybe I'm going to just have some crazy run where something weird happens, or like, I have a really good scout run. Like,
would you even say that the outside of the game in this is better than Deep Rock's? In certain ways, right? Like I've never liked the perk system in Deep Rock. Probably because I don't understand it.
The perk system?
Yeah, I think it's weird.
I think they need to rework that, because I've got like way too many points, and a lot of people are at the point that I'm at where you just hit a point where you unlock everything.
Yeah.
I think they need more perks, and they could do some like really cool stuff in there. But I think the weapon system is really good. Is that what you're talking about? Or you're talking about the character
everything
perks?
outside of of the gameplay loop
of Deep Rock?
Yeah.
Oh no, I think all that's done pretty well. But I've got a different experience with that game, because I've played it since beta, and it really grew, and I kind of grew with it.
Yeah.
So I have people who are jumping into the game like now. That's like a experience I've never had. Like just to jump in and be like, whoa, wow, okay, I got to unlock all this. I got to get all these, collect all these currencies.
Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. Fireteam's like, yeah, it's pretty good. It's free on Game Pass. It's worth like checking out and playing a little bit, but it's not a Back for Blood. It's not a Deep Rock. It's definitely not on that level.
I think that's why it's like a 78.
Do you feel like
72?
Yeah.
Do you guys feel that not BlackRock, that Alien games kind of just have like a weird taste sometimes? Like that, like they never are just like crazy good games. Like they're like kind of the same thing with like Warhammer games. Like they just usually are like C+ games. Like
yeah, they've had a pretty rough run. I mean, has there been a good Aliens game?
The scary one.
Oh, Isolation. Yeah, that one was good.
And I don't know if it was good. I remember it being good, probably because
it was good. It was just really long. It was a stealth game again, and you know how I feel about those.
Hide game.
Yeah, it was a run and hide game. Was there combat?
I've never played it.
I don't think there was combat.
I've never played it, but I'm talking about the one where you could play the game from 3 perspectives. You played the campaign.
Oh, the RTS one?
No,
I know which one you're talking about.
It's a first person.
I played
shooter.
it not too long ago. Alien. I think it was Aliens vs Predator, because you played Alien or Predator or Human.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At the time I thought it was fantastic. the way that you could walk on the walls with the aliens, you could like stealth kill them, and they have no idea because you're coming from an angle that's not natural. I thought the campaign was solid. The fucking multiplayer was like janky. It's weird because you have three.
Well, I mean, the game was from like 2007.
Yeah, but at the time, I thought it was fucking.
Yeah, and they had a campaign for each one. They had the human, the alien,
it's a lot of work.
Yeah, and the alien one was great. Like you start off as like the face sucker, and like you're seeing it first person perspective, and you jump on the guy's face out of the glass. Yeah, I mean, that was a lot of people consider that to be one of the good alien games.
Yeah, but Nick, in general, it's like Warhammer, same thing. I think somebody makes a pitch, it's Fox, dude. Fox fucking studios, they're the worst. They're just the fucking worst. Somebody goes in there with a fucking businessy pitch, and
are they even around anymore since Disney bought them? I know they kept Fox Searchlight, and I think they just called it Searchlight, but which is like the part that goes out and does like the indie movies and stuff. Yeah, but I don't know if like they still have like Fox with the 20th century logo, and the lights coming up, the floodlights. Yeah, I don't know, man, but the Alien, as an IP, like they just throw that game around or that IP around on a lot of games, and a lot of it doesn't stick.
Yep, most of it.
I will say this is kind of better than most of the, like Colonial Marines and a lot of those games, but like I can't imagine putting that much time into this. It's just
Bobby,
not engaging.
Get on my soapbox here for a second.
Okay.
If you have an organism that can assimilate into it can assimilate the best parts of any organism, why would you only ever use the one that comes from humans for your games and movies and stories? Like, why wouldn't you have the ones that can fly? Why wouldn't you have ones with horns? Why wouldn't you have crocodile ones? Why would you not do that? You're not making anything up. It's canon. They can they can face hug anything. Yeah. And then they take the attributes. Why is this not in the stories? It seems crazy to me. It seems crazy.
Well, I mean, they started getting into that a little bit with Prometheus and Alien Covenant, but I don't think they've really put that into any video games.
Yeah, it's been in graphic novels. It's the only place I've seen it. It's fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, and the toys. I remember the toys, the commercial. He's like, I'm the rhinoceros alien. And he hits the other guy.
What the fuck?
Wow.
Yeah, because, yeah, dude. Well, whatever the face hugger jumps on, they take the attributes of.
Yes, they become a subform of that.
Oh,
yeah.
Alien 3. Actually, they did it really well because it was a dog one.
Oh, yeah, they did have a dog one. I mean, but that was kind of it. Was it a dog or a cow?
It was a dog. It was definitely a dog. Because,
but there was something with the cow in that movie, too.
I don't think they had any livestock there, dude.
I remember a cow in that movie. I don't know.
Oh, or maybe, I don't know. Anyway, it was smaller and faster, but they had no weapons at all. So that's why it was supposed to be. You did you understand that movie and why it was bad, right? Or didn't?
Oh, what, well. Alien 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's David Fincher got screwed by the studio.
Yeah.
He wanted to do something really crazy, and they wanted like more of a generic alien movie, but yeah, he refuses to like talk about that movie anymore. And he didn't make another movie for a long time, I think until 7, but
I saw the Movies That Made Us episode for Aliens 2, and I heard about like all the drama about that movie. But I don't know anything about Aliens 3, to be honest.
Yeah, that was a weird one that a lot of people skip over. I wonder if there's a game for that.
I'll be back.
Okay. So Nick, you've been playing more Mountain Blade, Bannerlord.
Bannerlord. I think this might get you back into it. So
that big update they had.
Yeah, so they did a huge update. It's the biggest update that they've had since the game came out, and they really added some nice bells and whistles.
Yeah, I read the patch notes, and I was kind of surprised because there was so much. I saw the update, and I was like, oh, okay. And I clicked on the patch notes, and I was like, oh my God, like this is a lot. Is this normal? But you're saying it's not. This is just like a huge update. They also mentioned something about your save file may not work with the new version, or there may be.
That's what happened to me.
Oh no! Yeah, they said you have to. They had instructions like save it first, or I don't know, do some sort of like manual save. But
Yeah,
so you
I
lost
tried.
your save.
Yeah, and it didn't work.
Oh, damn.
Unfortunately, but that's okay. Um, because I realized that playing the game the way I was playing it was not the right way to play it. I was taking a long time to do a lot of things. Um, what took me about 11 hours to do in the last playthrough, I did in about an hour and a half. Like talking to the people to start the kingdom and everything.
Oh yeah, where
Um,
you got to run around and talk to like each person and track them down and get information.
yeah. Um, and so yeah, the game has gotten a lot nicer once you become a tier 2 clan. So for example, once you have 20 people, there's a new deployment mode.
You're talking
Um,
20 companions?
no, 20, just 20 troops at all.
Oh, okay.
So before, you really just deployed your troops while you're on the battlefield, and then you had to like manually switch things on the fly. Like you had to be like, oh, you're in, Regiment 1, and or like you're in Squad 3 and whatever. And you had to do that all during the fight. Well, that's not really realistic because you wouldn't really do that in the middle of the battle. You would do that before the battle started, and that's what you can do now. So you can be like, I want all my spear guys in one group. I want all my sword guys in one group, and you can position them on the battlefield on your side of the battlefield, kind of like in Total War.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually exactly like in Total War, except
Yeah.
it
Yeah, I saw
individual.
that in like some videos and stuff, and I was like, that's kind of what I was complaining about last week, that I found it really frustrating to command troops during the battle and just organize them. And I noticed they also put a slowdown mode in there too. So when you
Yeah,
do give commands, it slows the game down quite a bit. Because I at the beginning of every battle, I'd just be like, okay, all right, you guys get over there now. You get over there. No, not that way. Turn around. Okay, there you go. All right. And then the enemy is just marching right at me, and eventually I'm
yeah,
just like, okay, everybody just go attack. Fuck it, just go attack.
yeah. It was just run into simulator, and which is not really fun. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, to a point it is, but now it really becomes like an actual like tactical game. Like you can kind of fight the battles where you're like down 12 or 15 people and still win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because this new like system, like you can put archers behind trees and shit, and like you can do all this other stuff that really gives you a tactical,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say advantage, but like you can
You
actually,
can make plays basically, and you couldn't
yeah, you can make
before.
plays.
Like if you weren't going to win the auto simulate, then you probably weren't going to win the like fighting it out yourself. Like there was it
Yeah,
in the old version of the game, it was just like there was a lot of unwinnable battles, and it from a gameplay standpoint, that's kind of tough because it's like, well, why? Like I want to kind of be the underdog and have some heroic like battle that we rally and come through or something.
Well, you want the option for that to be able to not
Mhm.
every fight, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But Nick, sorry, I missed the
now
beginning. Is this a mod?
No, it's an update. Big
Oh, it's
update.
an update.
they just got the biggest update they've ever had,
Oh
and
shit!
it adds a bunch of new shit. So I'm
Coming
like,
back,
dude,
Bobby?
I don't know. Well, we were talking about how the saves no longer work with this new
Oh.
version, so I probably lost my game.
So another thing that they did is they enhanced the way the maps work. As weird as it sounds, so they so the only thing I can liken this to, because the only thing I really associate it with is Total War. So in Total War, when you do battle or when you catch an enemy army, if you're like next to a river, you'll and in the battlefield you'll be at a river, right?
Oh,
And that
okay.
happens in this game now. And it's more accurate, and there's more of those zones, so you're not fighting on the same battlefields as much. Because before you'd be like on the western side of the world, and you'd be fighting on the same battlefield as the eastern side of the world that has the same climate.
So the topography on the map, once you zoom in and start playing it on foot, it's more realistic to what it looks like on the map.
Exactly.
Like forest maps are forest and grassland is grassland. Like
Yeah, but not only that, but it's also like there's more of them. Like
Right.
before, there was
more
like
options.
there's only 10 forest maps. Now there's like 30 forest maps.
Oh man, this
So-
guy has a lot of gray coconuts.
Yeah. That guy's really strong. He's picking up them heavy ass rocks.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you didn't pick up Bannerlord, and you did and you didn't really like some of the options, they've made a huge update, and this may be the time to pick it up. I really enjoy the game. I'm playing it in my free time. I'm playing it more than Tarkov, and that's saying a lot because Tarkov's still wiped and it's still fun. So
Is it 1.0, Nick? This?
this is not 1.0
Well,
yet.
it's not. I don't know. The patch was like 1.70 or something, but the game is in early access.
Still. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so confusing to be
Yeah.
honest.
E 1.70.
Oh, E probably means something. Early access.
Early 1.70.
Yeah,
Early
I'm guessing.
access 1.70. Yeah. But everything I read in the patch notes sounded great. And I mean, I'd
Do it,
like to go back
Bobby.
to the game,
Do it,
but
do it.
I don't
Dude, I
think
really
I got
liked
the
when
time.
you were talking about it, dude.
I mean,
Yeah, it seems like-
it's a great game, and it sounds like it's getting even better. But it's just like, dude,
And
I
now
need
you
to
know
move
the-
through it quicker.
And now you know the shortcuts, though. Or not shortcuts, but you know.
Yeah, I know how to get to the game quicker. And it is like Nick was saying, he got stuck at some parts. Like he was saying, it took him 11 hours to do something that in the replay it took him like an hour, and that's like. You can get stuck just doing the same thing over and over again before you realize, oh, well, I should be doing this, and this is how I'm going to move on or expand quicker.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like
That's what I'm saying.
stopping points there. So yeah, I don't know. I'm sure I'd have a good time, but I really don't
Jesus.
look forward to doing all my duels again. I was like top of the leaderboards on the
So
on
they
the
changed how
jousting.
those work too, by the way.
Oh, how do those work now?
So you do have the leaderboard bracket and everything, but you can't really cheese arena fights anymore. Like it can't be your main source of income once you like have an army above like 50 people, because they lowered the value on a bunch of items. Because before you used to be able to do like arena battles, and like one spear would be like 3,000 gold. And that it's not like that anymore. That same spear is probably worth like 500 or 600 now.
Yeah, well, you can also bet on yourself, and there's like perks you can get where you make more money off of doing that. But it wasn't really a viable source of income for me. I think I was just mainly you can like double the renown you get from it, but even that's not all that much. It was just a good way for me to get geared early on, but now there's not much of a point to
Have
it.
you guys been in clusterfuck battles like that? Like that little fucking
Mhm.
thing at the gates right there? That was
Oh yeah, that
crazy.
happens quite a bit.
I've never even seen. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That happens quite often.
Yeah, you'll get some pretty bad frame drops though when they start
Maybe
getting
you, bro.
really. Yeah, maybe.
You don't got a 3070 and 64 gigs of RAM, son.
Well, I mean, the game doesn't really demand that much. They've got one of those things in the option where when you start clicking on all the high end settings, it tells you how much the RAM on your video card you're using. And I'm not coming anywhere near to tapping it out, but at the same time, I'm still rocking a 1080 with a 8700K.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's cool.
Yeah, pick it up, man. It's definitely still a great game. You know, if your save doesn't work, I think you can actually import saves with mods, or you can set your location and use some of the cheats, because I don't think you care about achievements at all. I mean, you personally.
I don't think there are achievements in this game.
I mean, yeah, because it's early access. So yeah, why the fuck do you care? But there are mods to like give yourselves money to like activate where your quests are at, like how many troops you have. So you really can just place yourself where you were before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nick, no interest in checking out the mods?
I mean, I'm gonna play the mod that I intended to play as soon as I actually beat the game.
Although all the mods are probably fucked right now with the new update, actually.
Yeah, no, that's one thing that when you look at the forums is that like for the next 2 weeks, all mods are gonna be fucked.
Yeah,
So
at least.
and they actually openly say that they tried to make that not happen, but when it's this big of an update, it's kind of impossible, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. No, probably worth it. All right.
It's time
Cool.
to shield for ourselves a little bit. Check out our website. At our website, you can find merch. You can find our Patreon, where you have a bunch of cool things that we give for our Patreons, especially integration with our Discord, which is very cool. We've got T-shirts that you can get through the Discord, through the item shop, or you could do it just through Patreon. We do rewards through there. Check us out. It's dlgaming.net. You can see pictures of us. That's always a shocker, as most people think. Nick's actually a black guy. No, that's not true.
I think most people by now say like, "Oh yeah, you guys look like I thought you would."
No, they do not. Dude, we've never heard that once.
We've
never
heard that. We've
once.
heard that at least once.
All right.
It's been said. All right.
All right, let's get into listener questions.
Listener questions. So the first one, I feel like we might have already answered a little bit. This is from Curd the Ape. He says, "Is Mountain Blade Bannerlord worth playing?" That's just what I'm calling it now. Worth playing now, or do you suggest waiting until 1.0?
No, play that shit now.
I really don't see any point in waiting.
I don't think there's going to be any major like changes to the game to the point where there's going to be like, oh, you have to like it's not like they're going to be like, oh, there's elephants now in the game, you know?
Yeah.
Although that sounds awesome, dude.
It's also, it's not the type of game where I think you play it and you're just like, okay, I'm done with that game. And I'm moving
like a
on.
lifestyle.
Yeah. Like there's a lot to this game. Like I'm not playing it now just because like I'm kind of scared. Like as soon as I'll be like, I'll play a little bit of this, and then like 5 hours later, it's one of those things. And I just can't do that right now.
Yeah.
So I've not even like loaded the game up just because it's it's dangerous.
It's one of those games. It's like, it's what I call a one more turn game.
Mhm.
It's like, it's 12:30. You know what? One more turn. I've got to go to bed by 1.
Yeah.
And it's like 3:00. You're like, fuck. That's what it is.
So play it now, Kurt.
Yeah.
Jens asks, at what point does a game become retro? Quibble away. He wants us to fight.
Retro.
I remember when I started hearing Nirvana on the classic rock station, and I was like, really? Well, I guess so. It's been 20 years, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, but also, I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's like a moving window. I'm talking about video games, not music. But I'm not sure if it's a window. I feel like retro has become a style now. So, like, people make new games in a retro style.
Yeah.
So, like Shovel Knight or whatever, a lot of them out there.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I feel like we have already established a retro games, and so Twitch has like a retro game channel, right? And it's a lot of like 90s era stuff. I think the cutoff is somewhere around the early 2000s, maybe.
It's hard. It's really hard to say. I'm trying to like answer your question directly. I think complexity. The early games were so simple. It was up, down, left, right, 2 buttons.
2 buttons.
That's it. If maybe Atari had 1 button and 4 directions. That was it. As complexity, grew, because you don't really, even though you get indie games with original ideas, they have some sort of complexity, whether it be storytelling or mechanics or. Well, I mean, we call them mechanics. Those old games were a mechanic. They had one thing that they did, and that was it. So I would say the real simple games that with the nostalgia, those are retro for me. That's what I think of.
Okay. I think most people would go off of graphics, but I guess that plays into it.
Graphics, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Look at a Nintendo controller and then look at a PlayStation DualShock. What's the new one's called?
Oh my god, I don't know.
Something Sense?
DualSense.
DualSense. Yeah. I mean, compare those two technologies. It's crazy. It's crazy. Anyway.
All right. Santaconius asks.
Dude, come on.
It's holidays are over, man.
Have you seen mine, Bobby?
Yes. Okay. You got a New Year's one.
Yeah. Years, Ender's Logic. Something like that.
Okay.
All right.
Kind of had to bend a little bit for that one. He could have posted this a while ago when it was more in the season. But he asks, what's next for Steam? What do you expect will happen in 2022? Steam Deck is coming, and any other hardware surprises, or are they going to shock us with a Half-Life game, a Half-Life card game?
I think we're going to see an official partnership with Sony.
Another partnership?
Yeah, I could see that. Like
I
a
see- I
more
think
official thing.
Sony's official partnership with them, where Sony's gonna announce their version of Game Pass, and it's gonna be through Steam. They've already announced that they're working on a version of Game Pass
Yeah.
where all their exclusives are going to be included, and
Mhm.
whatever official partnerships that they have is going to be included. And I think their best bet to make sure that that doesn't get shot down immediately is through Steam.
Yeah. It's pretty solid, man. It's pretty
Yeah.
solid. And I do think Steam's going to start looking at like a subscription model as well. I don't know how they're going to talk to 10,000 developers and get that done, but they'll have some version of it. I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, fucking God of War has its own Steam page now. So
It comes out a week before or 2 weeks before Total War Warhammer 2.
Is
And
it
three-
the 14th? I think it's the 14th.
January.
Yeah, that
Wow.
God of War comes out.
That's Luna's
3
birthday.
days, 3 days before Total War Warhammer 3.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I feel like subscription models are kind of the way of the future now. Like we're going to be seeing more and more of those, and we're going to see that incorporated more into Steam. And it makes sense because I could never see Steam doing their own subscription. But if Sony or Microsoft or Electronic Arts comes to them or Ubisoft and they say, hey, we want to do a subscription model, I could totally see them creating that on the Steam platform for
it
sure.
won't be like pay us this and you get every game on Steam. It's definitely going to be some sort of like something. I don't know. Some sort of like segmented, specialized thing. Like you said, Ubisoft games or whatever. They keep trying to do their own thing.
It's not going to work.
It's fucking
You just
Rockstar.
can't.
Rockstar did theirs for one game. It came out for fucking. It fell apart after one game. Like
What do they call that? The Rockstar.
Access or something
No.
like that.
They had a name that was like they tried to make it all like catchy or
who
something.
cares, man?
Yeah, Rockstar Launcher. It was like the something lounge or something. Social Club.
Social.
The Social Club.
I kind of like it actually. The name.
The Rockstar Social Club. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I feel like we're finally starting to break down these walls of that have like divided console and PC, especially
Preach, brother, preach.
especially in the Microsoft field. And I feel like it's easier for them to do that because like what's the difference between an Xbox and a PC these days? And with Game Pass, like it's just, it's so melded together and that's really catching fire. I mean,
Do we have
Game
one
Pass?
CEO to think about this? Is it the CEO of Xbox that was just like
Was it Phil
open the
Spencer?
floodgates?
I think I don't know how much to attribute to him, but yeah, like Phil Spencer has been like a big believer in all that stuff. He's the executive VP of gaming at Microsoft. But yeah, I mean, who knows? But I feel like Sony has to follow suit because Microsoft is doing so well with that. So they're going to need to adapt or die. They can't just
I don't think
playing their
they'll
own game.
die. Who knows what their total revenue is? Like it's hard to say. They're paying out all these little companies for all these tiny little games that are coming on, right?
Yeah.
paying
Oh
all
yeah,
these-
they wouldn't die, but still,
Some of them are so good, dude.
What's that?
Like I'm talking about Sony. Like some of those little games that Sony are paying for are so good. Like
No,
And
I'm
then,
talking
like,
about
you'll see
Game
them-
Pass. Game Pass has
Game Pass, yeah.
Game Pass has Game Pass has an overhead, right? So they have to pay all these developers every time somebody I'm guessing every time somebody downloads a game.
from what I've heard, it's when they actually install the game.
Yeah.
That's when the developer gets a payout,
Right.
even if the game never gets played. Once it's
Right.
installed,
So
then-
they have an overhead that they have to pay out. So who knows what the total revenue is? But it's guaranteed income every year, even though if you're not paying off all your debts, you have money coming in. On a PlayStation game, somebody who doesn't have a lot of money or just likes the really epic things, they might be able to afford two $60 games in 1 year, and that's it. And that's it. They'll play God of War, they'll play The Last of Us 2, and that's it for maybe 3 years. That like those are two games or a driving game or something like that. It's a different kind of model. Who knows? Because they're private companies, they don't maybe somebody knows this. How much is Game Pass really making? How much profit is that making? Are they killing it? Just because we're all talking about it and we're all in love with it, maybe they're close to taking a loss. Epic Games has been taking a loss for 3. Their plan is to lose. It's in their plan, their long-term plan, to lose money for 4 years. So that's what they're doing. They're just like, oh, yeah, we're just going to lose money and get a bunch of people on our platform. I don't think it's working, but, maybe Game Pass.
It's kind of tough because everybody jumped onto Epic Games for Fortnite. I don't know how popular that game still is these days. And then they had that whole kerfuffle with Apple that I don't think really went in their favor. And yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of people might be like me and just show up for the free games.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I had one more thing, but whatever. Anyway,
but
in general, I think everything's getting better for sure. Except for,
you guys going to be playing God of War?
It's probably going to be $60, right?
Yeah, $60 price tag.
I am interested, but let's be honest, dude. $50.
Okay.
Just like Bobby said, Days Gone felt like a great game. I think I could have really played it, but we just don't have the time. This is the no time podcast. Like, I think everybody just signs on every week, listens to us talk about how we don't have enough time to play everything.
Well, yeah, you got to use your time wisely. I mean, and some games feel a lot longer than others. A campaign like God of War, to me, feels like a lot longer than if I were just to burn like 5 hours in Bannerlord or Fireteam,
right.
So I don't.
How long is this campaign, Nick? Probably like 30 hours?
If you don't do all the extra shit, probably about 18.
Oh, okay.
18, 20.
Okay, that's not. It says 21 hours on, and
you're close.
How long to beat? Yeah. Yeah. So the question that Workonius was asking, he didn't specifically ask about hardware, but he mentioned it. I don't know if there's really going to be any big developments that Steam's working on with hardware, but they usually keep that stuff under wraps pretty well until they're ready to talk about it.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, Steam Deck is going to be their shit for a little bit, for sure.
Yeah,
I don't think there's going to be an upgrade to the Index for 2-3 years. I think hardware, we kind of know what's going to happen. I could be completely wrong, but I think they'll do something with a subscription model, and I wouldn't be shocked if we see a Half-Life in some form or another soon.
maybe something for the doohickey.
For the the Steam Deck, you could play. Apparently, you could play anything that runs on Steam. You could play on the Steam Deck. So it wouldn't be like specially made. But if the Steam Deck has special features that maybe like, I don't know, does it have a gyroscope? Like
it integrates with the
kind of like when you play the Valve not the Index but the other one. It doesn't matter. When you play a VR in the VR suite on Steam, they have the thing called the Lab. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
They'll probably have something like that, like a suite inside of the Steam Deck that just shows off its functionality and mobileness or whatever. Hopefully. Because, whenever I load up fucking, when I'm just trying to show somebody VR, the Lab is fucking fantastic. It was the first thing made for it,
Yeah, it's a great introduction to that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what's everybody playing next week?
Magic the fucking Gathering, Bobby. Is it a fucking surprise? I can't put the game down, Bobby. I can't. Help me.
Oh, man. I just got a cold turkey.
I've been thinking about it recently where I'm like, I'm hurting the podcast by playing this game so far much. And it's not that I play that much because I don't have a lot of time. I just have a tiny bit of time, but that tiny bit of time is being sucked up by that. Yeah. I keep thinking about, it's all set up. I wrote out the story and everything. Amelia and I are going to start playing D&D. It's just going to be a one-on-one DM and one character. And what?
My buddy does 2, and he really likes it.
He does.
It's
2.
just him. It's him, his sister, and his sister's boyfriend
Oh, that's
and
cool.
he's the DM, and he really, really likes it.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Like, and the cool thing about like doing anything like that with a little kid is like they haven't heard of the grand stories, the best stories of all time.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know this. I could totally just write in Star Wars into our thing, and she would have no idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's not gonna be like, this sounds like Star Wars.
So we're all going to be playing Insurgency, I assume.
Yeah. I've
Yes,
been playing
yes,
it.
yes.
I put probably 4 hours in last night.
I posted something on Discord recently. Amazon Prime, if you're an Amazon Prime member, they were giving away some pretty good games. World War Z Aftermath, which activates through Epic Games. And
I was gonna ask. So, what platform do you get those on?
so two of them were Epic, and one of them was a key for EA Origin. So I
Total
can't
War
remember
game.
that. Yeah, Total War was on Epic. Total War Warhammer, and then Jedi Knight Fallen Order given away for free if you're a Prime member. That activates with EA. EA. What do they call their new launcher?
Access? I don't know.
Yeah, not Origin, but they got a new name for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So I don't know. I might be playing Jedi Fallen Order.
Wait, but where were you playing it before?
I was playing it off of your Origin account.
Oh, right.
Yeah, yeah. And I feel like it was so long ago, I would have to start the game from the beginning anyway. So I'm not too upset about having to replay
Yeah.
all this stuff. It's been so
That
long.
game.
I really want to play it.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it. I got close to beating it, but didn't.
What am I going to
You know what's gonna be nice is when Total War Warhammer 3 drops, it's gonna be on Game Pass, so everybody gets to play it for the game of the week.
I do want to play some. I think I've played enough Sandstorm to like be able to speak on it. I would like to play co-op versus AI at some point, but you know I have really weird hours, so if that doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But I would like it if you guys do that. That'd be cool. Maybe on Friday or whatever.
Yeah, sounds like the mode I'd be more interested in anyway.
Yeah. But the verses, dude, the verses really, there's a huge difference between the verses. I was in totally toxic, like fucking Counter-Strike, or open mic, fucking, fuck you, nerd, fucking, you're so free, shit like that, right?
Mhm.
And then went to a different game mode, completely different, tactical, fucking, okay, we're going to have to move, VIP, you stay there, blah, blah, blah. You know, I don't know if it was the people, but it definitely seemed like it was the game mode, because I would go into different versions, different servers playing the same game modes, and it seemed like the people playing those game modes. It's almost like you have a diversified field of players within one game. That's what I saw. Oh, and a lot of new players too. I think a lot of people bought this game when it was on whatever the winter sale was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because people were asking basic questions. Yeah.
Oh, I know it was free for a little while.
Some drunk guy was like, "How are there only 4,000 people playing this? This is fucking awesome."
Finally, someone's playing the game.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm afraid that's an episode, folks.
Nice.
Nice. All right. Speak for Bobby, not Chris, because he sucks. Nick and myself. God titties.
You looked at the. I've been saying Bannerlord the whole episode. I'm setting it up. I'm just teeing it up, and you just look at the screen and say the first word that you see.
Also sounds cool. God titties. I mean, that's epic. They got to be epic.
Yikes.